And welcome into PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. And it's time for one of our weekly Zooms. I do two a week, one with Ross Grimsley on baseball on Monday evenings, and one with Gary Stein on Wednesdays or Thursday evenings. Gary can't be here tonight, former play-by-play voice of the Baltimore Blast, but joining us right now is an old friend and the owner of the Baltimore Blast, president of the Baltimore Blast, Ed Hale. Ed, how are you? First of all, I know I've done this via text with you, but I want to offer my condolences on the loss of your mom. I know she passed away a couple of weeks ago.
It was tough, but I appreciate your text and your comments. But Happy New Year. It's good to be back. We're playing again, so we're glad to have the Baltimore Blast back on the field again.
I don't want to dwell on the past too much, but I got to tell you, I got to ask you, a league the size of your league and teams like the Baltimore Blast, how have they weathered what's been an incredibly difficult navigation through the pandemic?
We've had, we didn't play last year. Some of the teams played. Some of the arenas in the Midwest and the West Coast were allowed to play. We didn't play because we didn't even have a place to practice here.
Right.
So they were not real. Some of the teams were not happy with me, but I don't care about that. We just couldn't play. It was that simple. So we've played this year, but we had to miss 2 games because we got almost our entire team and our coaches got COVID. So we couldn't go to Milwaukee and Kansas City. So we're trying to get a makeup date now. And but other than that, we're doing okay. We just
how is the league this year? You explained that you had a problem. Are the other teams popping up with problems as well, or was this a fluke that hit the Blast? Because this Omicron virus variant is just it's everywhere right now.
You know, it's everywhere, and it came and hit us very quickly with big numbers. We couldn't go to Utica. We had to postpone a game there, and we're going to publish that if we haven't already published it. We're going to play that. What's the date?
February 23rd.
February 23rd. It's a makeup game that we're going to play up there. So we're trying to get makeup games against Kansas City and Milwaukee if they could get us dates. So yeah, it's just been, unbelievable. I thought once we got the vaccines, everything would be hunky dory and we'd all play.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I know over the years, not just in the short haul, but over the last 10 to 12 years, you have grown your camp business tremendously. The camps went off pretty much without a hitch this summer, didn't they?
Knocking on wood, we had problems this year, no problems last year, and our numbers were extraordinarily high, like the best we've ever had. And we're already advertising for our camps this year based on the successes that we had last year. So that's already started, and we're hoping that we're going to have really fun camps for everybody. The parents had a good time, the kids had a great deal of fun, and the players liked it too, and it gives them something to do in the summertime when we're not playing. So we're excited about building that.
And who runs the camps for you? Does David Bascombe, does he kind of run them, or serve as the
Gianni runs it, and along with David, and we, it's a collaboration between those guys. Mark Maceros does too, and so it's been working together very, very well with everybody, and it all came together this year, where it's been sort of very, very slow over the last 10 years. Not anymore. It's good.
All right. Getting back to your league, you mentioned to me the other day, you said, hey, I was talking to Commissioner Shep Messing, and
Right.
When I last followed the Blast a couple of years back, Shep Messing wasn't the commissioner of the league. How did this come about that such a star player like Shep Messing ended up as the commissioner of the MISL?
Which is, I didn't know Shep Messing. I knew his name, and
Yep.
I knew who he was, and he played on the U.S. Olympic team, and he played on the national teams. But he's got a great reputation. He was a star goalie when Pele was playing. He played on that team, Cosmos, up in New York, and actually we had a vote, and I voted against Shep. because I thought, what do we need? A hot dog goalie? No, I thought we needed a real business guy, but Shep is a very, very accomplished business guy. And I'm glad that he called me up and he said, "You voted against me. How come?" And a couple of reasons. And I thought that I took a little bit of chutzpah to do it.
Yep.
And he happens to be Jewish, by the way. I don't know
Yep.
if you do that. Yeah, he's a good guy, and people think I'm Jewish too, by the way, too. So,
I know. What impresses you about him, Shep?
he has, I thought here's a soccer player that,
Yeah.
That most of them don't have business acumen. He's got business acumen, knows how to run an organization. He's been very successful, and he's doing very well in terms of getting some sponsorships, possibly getting some expansion for us. So I'm really, really excited about having him here. JP Dellacamera is working with him as well. He's a world-renowned broadcaster and a true gentleman. I like the guy. I like both of them, actually.
What is the status of the league right now in terms of how many teams are there in the league right now?
12 teams now. We have 17 that some of them went inactive because of, for example, up in Rochester, they're giving shots up in their arena up there, so they had no place to play.
Okay.
We got some of the Mexican teams decided to take a pause. A couple of the Mexican teams are going to come back. We have a new team, Chihuahua is in, which used to be the old Sonora team. We think we're going to have some real expansion in Mexico, hopefully to the extent that we can have 4 or 5 teams there that they have their own division.
All right. We're talking with Ed Hale, the president of the Baltimore Blast. And Ed, you've had, I think you're 3-1 this year. You've played 4 total games.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
How many home games? You've had 2 home games and 2 road games so far?
We've had 3. Three home games, 1 away.
All right. How have the fans been receiving the return of Baltimore Blast soccer? Are they packing the CQ Arena?
We can seat about 4,000. We had almost 3,000, just short of 3,000 on Saturday night. No concessions because of the university. It's a University of Maryland school system.
Right.
Said you can't have concessions. So people came, had to wear masks. It was kind of muffled and quiet in there. You could hear every noise on the field. It was amazing, but everybody was into it. It was fun. And we won the game, and everybody had a good time. There was really no downside. Some people were not too happy that we couldn't have the March of Champions on the field before the game with the rec teams. However, we're going to try to make that up to them.
All right. When are you playing the next couple games, Ed?
We play Ontario on the 21st here, but we're going on the road tomorrow to Dallas. We play in Dallas on Friday, and then we come back and we have to hustle right up to Utica to play them up in Utica on Sunday. So it's going to be a pretty tough weekend.
You're playing Dallas on Saturday, and they got to come back and go to Utica, New York, to play the Utica team on Sunday.
And then we're playing 2:00 in Utica on Sunday.
Wow.
So I bought a bus, and so everybody's going to come back to the airport because there's no airport in Utica, of all things. So we're everybody on the bus and haul on up there.
All right, that sounds pretty wild. Tell us a little bit. David Bascombe has replaced Danny Kelly as the head coach. What's your initial reaction to? I mean, you've known David both as a player and an assistant coach, so it's no surprise. But what kind of job do you think he's doing so far?
So far, so good. He's got everybody pretty energized. It's more of a family type situation that he's engendered here. We have some young players that have been embraced by the older players. Everybody's trying to get together and play well together. And there's no, believe it or not much of an ego situation here. Some of the older guys are really working with the younger guys, trying to bring them into the game. And David is in large part responsible for that. We have Neto, who used to play for us, is the assistant coach. And both of them have a great deal of respect from the players because they had been star players themselves. So it's been really, really good for us.
Is the roster, is your roster currently dotted with a lot of people the fans will know offhand?
Yes, we have Melo Pereira, Adriano Dos Santos, who's a character, Mike Diesel, another character.
And you
Wait.
got Vanzella back as the goalie, right?
Vanzella is back.
Yeah.
He's now a father, and he's just had a baby over the wintertime, and he's back and he's playing pretty well. The whole team is playing pretty well. We're trying to get our legs back after being out for almost 15 days with COVID, but we think we have it back, and we better have it back because we got a tough weekend ahead.
All right, and give me the next two home games again. It's the 14th.
The 21st.
21st. I'm sorry. Again, yeah.
Ontario, California, which is outside of it's just outside of LA.
Okay.
And then we're playing who on the 5th.
We're in Utica.
So then we're playing Utica here.
Okay.
So, Utica is always a pretty tough match because we play them so much, we know each other so much, and there's no love lost there.
Right.
I got a couple of big bruising guys. We have a couple of big bruising guys that don't really care for each other too much. It's pretty fun to watch.
So Ed, let me ask you, ducking away from the particulars of this season, you've owned the Baltimore Blast now, what, for about 22 out of the last 26 years or something like that? Is that about right?
32 years.
You've owned the Blast for 32 years.
Took a pause, and then I had another 25 years. Now,
So-
I've heard, I think Kenny Cooper told me, he says, I'm the longest standing professional soccer team owner, indoor or outdoor, in history.
Wow, that's something.
I still think I'm 27, so that's hard to imagine,
Have you had has Kenny come into town at all? Have you ever had a night for him?
He was in put in the Hall of Fame. He was going to come, and then he had his knee replaced.
Okay.
And that was about a year or so ago. Yeah, we are going to have him come in, and he had his knee replaced. So we talk, and he's always the same.
I'd like to get him on one of these Zooms, so I'll check in and get the number. So my question for you is, in these 32 years in the United States, it's unbelievable how much soccer, when I turn on a television or go up and look at ESPNonline.com and I go up to the scores, how much ink and airtime soccer gets. Has that really been reflected in the overall acceptance by your fan base? I mean, in other words, is soccer in the 32 years, it's like, it's so different today, the acceptance of the sport.
Well, after I bought the team from Red Shear and a bunch of guys, it sort of hit its pinnacle.
Yeah.
And then it dropped off, and then we got the Ravens here. And so it sort of lost its allure a little bit. But now it's been gradually, steadily going up. Now, the fact that we're at Towson University, I think, has been an overwhelming surprise. It's so good. People don't want to go downtown. I don't want to go downtown, and we're playing out there where it's clean, neat, good parking, good concessions. The sight lines are really good. It's really a lot of fun, and people like it a lot better. Some people are unhappy. The guys and the ladies that are in South Baltimore didn't like it too much. However, they're in the minority. We have a lot of people that really like coming to our games. Most of the people come from like Cecil County over to Westminster and all the southern counties in between. And so they like it. And it's more up tempo. It's more fun. It's a smaller field, a lot of action.
Right.
However, it's to me, it's just a better atmosphere, much better atmosphere. And I think it's engendered more concession sales, merchandise, and also more ticket sales too.
So in these 32 years, are you happy with the overall progress of the sport and of the position the Blast now have in the marketplace, Ed?
Yes, I am. It's kind of funny though. There's been some talk about bringing the World Cup here, and we haven't even been asked to participate. And by the people that are putting together, I think the Stadium Authority never even called us. I found that to be, just not very smart. And we all soccer, indoor and outdoor, we embrace. We want to do it. We want to see it do more. The high tide raises all boats. That's what I'd like.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to do is get you with Shep Messing Get him on with, he and I should be on here one day. Yeah, I
Okay,
think you find him to be very, very interesting, and maybe JP too.
all right. Well, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. So again, 32 years you've owned the Baltimore Blast. Is there an end game in sight for Ed Hale? And so far as
Yeah, yeah.
what?
My days are numbered. Look at
No,
it.
no, I don't mean it that way. I mean, is there, I mean, when I say, is there an end game, is the league got a chance to still grow and make this an even bigger investment for Ed Hale?
Just wait. There's some pretty big news on the horizon, really. And that's
Okay.
why, at the right time, getting Shep on with JP Dellacamera would be very good.
Okay.
I'm-
So this big news might come in the next month or so?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right. Well, we'll check back in with you.
It's going
Ed,
to be.
it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Do you have anything else you want to get out to the public?
No, just come on out to the games. It's a lot of fun. I think that you come back. What we'd like to do is still have the families and the kids come to the games, but we'd also like to get the dating public to come. The games start at 6 o'clock on Friday, 7:30 on Saturdays, and they're over in 2 hours. It's pretty fun, and we think it's just the whole atmosphere is dramatically better than it was downtown and safer.
And the status of the league now, the quality of play, Ed, where do you put it in terms of where it's been all over the map in 32 years? Is it about as high a caliber as it's been?
Well, when I first got in, we had a lot of Serbians and Croatians.
Yeah.
We had an occasional couple English guys and Danes and things. Now we're a lot of Brazilians. The Brazilians are very, very quick, very enthusiastic, emotional. I think it's a fun game, and there's been ebbs and flows, and I think the play right now is actually pretty good. I'm not just saying it because I own the team now, like I did before. I think that our team right now is a pretty good team.
Well, I've always appreciated you're a straight shooter about that, and if you say that the play is of a high caliber, then I know it is. I know you wouldn't just say it to say it.
Well, we want to go out. We want to beat the crap out of everybody who comes to. That's
Last question. How many games? So you've played 3 home games. How many more do you have? You got 12 more?
we have 9 more games, home game.
Okay.
We play 24, 12 and 12 here, 12
Okay.
away. So we still have 9 more games here, and it goes up until right around the end of March, and then the playoffs come. Hopefully,
All right.
we'll the playoffs.
All right. And again, BaltimoreBlast.com would be the place to check up on camps. If a parent is watching this right now and says, "Hey, that would be a good camp for my Billy or Joni to play in."
I'll tell you what, it really is a lot of fun, and we got so many compliments last year. It was really uplifting, Stan, considering COVID and all the other stuff. And
yeah,
no one got sick. There was never an issue.
I'll bet you last summer you had more people because people had been cooped in, and the parents were looking for things to do with the kids, and
Right.
I think they will be again this summer.
Right.
So again, BaltimoreBlast.com is the place to check that out, find out all the information on the camps. Ed?
It's really been good too, just like to end on, the management we have, the people that we have running the camps, Gianni, David, Mark, but then we have all these interns that come in here and play, the college students, college players, we call them ambassadors. And they love it. The kids remember them, and it's been really fun.
All right. He's Ed Hale. He's the owner of the Baltimore Blast. They're back on the 21st against the team from California, and their name is on a blank.
Ontario Fury.
Ontario from California, outside of Los Angeles. Ed Hale, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I'll be back Monday night with Ross Grimsley, and we'll have an old ex-Oriole on. We're working on a couple things right now. Thanks to Ed Hale, and I'll see you down the road just a little bit.